Do you have a one-handed backhand and you just dream of hitting it like the pros, like Roger Federer and Stan Wawrinka and Richard Gasquet? Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you a 5-step formula to improve your one-handed backhand. My name is Jeff Salzenstein. I'm the founder of Tennis Evolution, one of the leading online tennis instruction websites in the world. Over at Tennis Evolution, we're passionate about helping players learn the game easier and faster. We want to cut through all the BS out there and really give you exactly what you need to improve. No extra fluff, just the right stuff. If you enjoy this video today, give us a thumbs up and share it with others. It will really help us out a lot. Thanks so much. Let's get into it. Let's start with step 1. We're going to talk about the grip and the starting position with the backhand, with the one-handed backhand. So first off, more club players that are older, that have been playing a long time, they may have what's called a Continental Grip. And if you watch the pros, when this hand starts to move this way so that the palm of the hand is behind the racket, they call this an Eastern or even a semi-western backhand grip. If you can get the palm of the hand behind the racket like this, you're going to be able to generate easy topspin. So if you have a Continental Grip and you've been playing for years, you may not want to make this change. This is pretty drastic. You can still hit solid one-handed backhands with a Continental, but if you want to hit it like the pros, you got to get that hand to move over, okay, and have the palm behind the racket like this. Again, in an Eastern or a semi-western grip. The more extreme, the better if you really want to hit that crazy topspin. Okay, so we've handled the grip. Now let's talk about, as part of step 1, this starting position. Now, when I'm in a ready position, I usually hold a semi-western grip for my forehand like this, and I have my offhand on the throat of the racket. So what you want to practice doing is when you see that it's coming to your backhand, you want to use the offhand to change the grip to the backhand side like this. And if you'll notice, the tip of the racket is up like this, and I'm in this ready position, ready to make a first move on the forehand. If I use the offhand to change the grip, look at how the tip of the racket stays up when I make this first move, okay? So that's really important to be able to have that racket tip up and ready and in position as you change the grip. Now, if you're trying to make a grip change, I'm okay with players starting with a backhand grip just so that they can get comfortable. And then, you may have to change it to a forehand grip to hit a forehand, but if you really want to get the feel of this new grip, you might want to consider starting in a ready position in the backhand grip. Most coaches aren't going to teach you that. I don't usually suggest it when you're playing, but again, this is for players that want to make that grip change. They can practice getting in this position right here with the grip and just starting with this backhand grip from the beginning. Okay, so we've covered the grip and we've gotten into that starting position. Step 2, I want to talk about the first move. And with the first move, this is a really interesting one. If you watch the pros, they make this first move and you're going to see this shoulder turn. So you're going to see this shoulder go to this position right here. So you see the shoulder turning and you start to load this outside leg to prepare. But notice how the tip of the racket goes up. Okay, it's just like on the forehand, the racket tip is up like this. To be able to generate easy racket head speed, to be able to accelerate into the ball and even drop under the ball to get crazy topspin, it helps to have the tip of the racket up to start. So I like to have players get this racket in this position or thereabouts with their first move. Now, again, if you've been playing tennis a long time and you naturally take the racket back like this on a one-hander, a lot of players, I'm not going to change them. I'm going to say, you know what? You're comfortable in this position right here, taking the racket straight back. Yes, you're not going to look like the pros per se, but you can still take it back and hit great backhands. Last time I checked, John McEnroe had a pretty good one-handed backhand, and he took the racket back just like this. So this is not something you have to do, but if you want to look like Roger Federer and you want to look like the other great one-handers, Dominic Thiem, Tsitsipas, if you want to look like them, you've got to get that racket tip up with the first move. Just know that if you naturally take it back like this, you can still hit great backhands. The thing I want you to avoid, and I see this happen with a lot of club players, is they try to take the racket up in the beginning like this because they want to look like the pros, but then what happens is they drop the racket like this and swing. So I call it a disjointed backswing. The racket goes up, then it goes down like this, and then the swing happens. It's like a two-part backswing, and we don't want that. We want the first move into the backswing to really flow and be smooth and effortless. So just keep that in mind. If you're taking the racket up and then you drop it down like this and it's very abrupt and disjointed and it doesn't flow, then you might want to consider going with a backswing where the racket just goes straight back like this, a la John McEnroe. Step number 3 is the backswing. So with the backswing, this is the one swing in tennis where you get to break the plane. There's a lot of talk about the forehand now, and I was guilty of this as a pro. I got to 100 in the world, and I still had a little tail in my backswing on the forehand. So I never really corrected the swing where I keep the racket on the same side of the body. If I started playing more, I would definitely be working on that, even at this later stage in my career and my life. But with the backhand side, on the one-handed backhand, it's okay to break the plane. So when you take this racket back and you have this full shoulder turn and you get into the backswing, when you go to swing, the racket can break the plane like this on the one-handed backhand. That's what we want. I get concerned when I see players have too short of a backswing on the one-handed backhand and they just kind of bunt the ball like this. So what I want you to practice doing is really getting this shoulder turn. And you can see my shoulders turning against my hips like this. And then when it's time to swing and I step in, you can see how the racket's going to break the plane back here. That's something that I definitely want you to do and want you to practice. Step number 4 is the contact. With the contact point, I'm a big believer that when you swing on the one-handed backhand, you want to get your arm as straight as possible. Now, you don't want to be completely locked out, although it should feel like it's straight. Honestly, a lot of players that struggle with their backhand, they come at it with more of a bent arm. They're not able to get that arm totally straight, and they're not able to make contact away from their body. Too often players get jammed on their one-handed backhand. I want to see players really create a lot of space away from their body like this. Okay, and as you're making contact, I like to have the off arm very relaxed down by the side like this. There's definitely different schools out there of thought when it comes to what the offhand does at contact or even after contact. You'll see some players really take their offhand back as they hit. I feel with club players that are not pros, they have a hard time really bringing the racket back or bringing the offhand and making good contact with the backhand. So I like just having the offhand at contact, just relax by the pocket here. Your contact point, the more that your grip moves in this direction, the more out in front you're going to hit the ball. This is also contingent on your posture. Think about it. If you lean forward, which a lot of players, they don't have this problem on the one-hander. It's more on the two-hander leaning forward. Your contact point is going to be compromised. So if you can keep your body upright, you keep your head and your body back as you swing, you can get the ball way out in front of you. It's all has to do with your posture. As soon as you lean in, it's going to be difficult to get it way out there. You're going to be back in this area right here. So make sure your head stays back, your body stays back, and you're creating a lot of space to get that contact point way out in front. Let's talk about step number 5, the finish. Probably one of my favorite parts of the swing. If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know that I love teaching the finish. Most players don't finish well, especially on the one-handed backhand. They go across the body, they finish too low, they get in this area right here. I want that arm straight. I want extension. I even want players to hold their finish like this with the hand way up. If you can just practice this every day on your backhand and get to this position, you're going to improve tremendously. It's when players short arm it and they come across and they finish low that they get in trouble. So finish high, get this arm straight. And if you want to add a little flair to your backhand like the pros, when you get to this position, then you can turn the hand over like this, and you can practice turning that hand over like this and be a little more creative, a little more artistic, and get more spin on the backhand. The problem I see with club players is they see the pros do this, and then what happens, excuse me, what happens is they end up flipping over too early like this. No, you want to extend, you want classic extension like this, and then you can turn the hand over. So make sure you extend, and then you can turn the hand over to hit it like the pros. Okay, so that's my 5-step formula to help you hit great one-handed backhands. I'll hit a couple right now just to demonstrate, just so that you can see what I'm focusing on and what I'm doing with my one-hander. Okay, so I've got my grip, and I like to have that hand behind the racket like this. And when I just toss the ball here, I'm going to make sure the tip of the racket gets up. I'm going to make sure that my arm is straight, and then I finish with a straight arm. It's as simple as that. And again, the key is the extension. Look how straight. I don't see club players finishing like this. So if you did one thing from this video, it would be making sure that every time you swing, you get your arm straight. Straight and extended. Every single time. You can keep working on that over and over again. That one-handed backhand is going to get a lot better. Now, if you enjoyed this video, again, share it with others. We'd love to have other people hear about our channel and the videos that we're creating. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on your notifications. And before you go today, I've got a free gift to offer you. We have a free tennis course that we're offering. We've got lessons on the serve, the forehand, lessons on footwork, single strategy, and double strategy. I really wanted to cover the components of the game that I believe can help you improve super fast. It's inside our Tennis Evolution app, which is absolutely free as well. You just have to download it. And the reason I put it in an app is because research shows is you will learn faster by watching videos on your mobile device, on the court. It's like having a coach in your pocket. So go ahead and click the link in the description below or somewhere in this video, and you can get started improving your game that much faster today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next lesson.